Hello, welcome to my channel where we try to simplify the practice of quantity surveying. Thank you for staying tuned. My name is Canis Andutan. I also want to thank you for subscribing to my channel. And if you are yet to subscribe, my YouTube handle is www.youtube.com/quantity surveying made easy _2014. If you go to my page, you will find a lot of videos that I have done that is helpful in the practice of quantity surveying. We are going to be preparing a material schedule for a frame structure. And as we all know, basically frame structure is the columns, the beams, the slabs, and the items of the same um, uh, the item are concrete, reinforcement, and formwork. And we are going to focus on these three items and extract their quantity. So in a material schedule, we're expected to split the, say, concrete into their various components. Say for concrete, you have three components that makes up concrete, which is sand, cement, and aggregate. So we are expected to come out with, to extract those materials and cost them so that the client will know how many, say, tons of granite, tons of sand, tons of cement he needs to buy for the proposed project. And for you to prepare the material schedule, you first of all understand what is the objective of your client. Is it for the purpose of information or for the purpose of planning and execution? If it is the purpose of information, you can approach it in from the global perspective. But if it is the purpose of planning and execution, your client might want to face his job, face it in the sense that anytime he has money for a particular tax, the way you have faced it in the bill, if you are following the pattern of the bill to compute your 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 material schedule. Say, like now I take a typical example, say for the frame structure, which is element number two, for ground floor, you have the isolated column and the lift wall. And for the isolated column and the lift wall, you need concrete, you have reinforcement, you have formwork. So let's say, because this bill we are using, it's assumed that the substructure has been completed. So now you want to start the superstructure. Say if you face it and you have computed the material for this aspect, as soon as the client gets the money for this aspect, he can move to site to execute this job and now wait for money for the next aspect, then he cannot execute. So having said this, the approach I adapt is me creating columns directly beside the item, the quantities in the bill. Then I now list out all the items in the bill. Then now the item in the bill, which is the concrete, the form, the reinforcement, and the formwork. That is what you see here. I have different types of grade of concrete. Then I have my 10 mm bar, 12 mm, 16 mm, and 20 mm bar. And then I have my formwork. From the formwork square meter, I'm going to generate the number of planks and the number of supports, timber for support and bracing. Then for the blocks, I'm going to calculate the number of blocks and the cement for cement and sand for the laying. So then after I have listed all of these items, then I will now come to each of the item and link the quantity to the specific columns that I have prepared for that item. So as you can see, the two concrete are reinforced concrete. I link them to the reinforced concrete columns. So giving me 24 cubic meter is what I needed for this aspect of the job. Then for the reinforcement, 10 mm, I need a 1.1 ton for 10 mm, 16 mm, 0.27, then 20 mm, 3 tons. Then formwork, I need 286 square meter. Then after linking it, then the next is now to generate the quantity. To generate the quantity, I will now create a row and column underneath my submission, my total quantities, the way I will now list all the component I need to extract from each of those items in the bill, the quantity in the bill. Say for the bars, I need a banding wire, and you have the categories of reinforcement in the bill. Then for concrete, I need cement, granite, sand. For formwork, I need the planks, I need the timbers for the support and bracing. Then I will now come here for the computation. This aspect will be very fast for somebody that is already conversant with estimating on how or estimating. You don't need to either consult any document for you to immediately impute the ratio for each of these items. If you have been following my page, I have belt up rate for concrete, formwork, reinforcement. So, and the ratios for all of these materials are already in the rate build-up. So it's just for you to pick those ratios, you come here, apply them, and your quantities will come out. Let's say for a C30 grade of concrete, you have a 316, say 316 kg of cement. Then you have a 0.78 ton for sand. You have a 1.162 for granite. So what you don't need to do is just multiply your quantity by, since I am pricing in ton, multiply by 0.316, which is the cement, then by 1.05, which is the waste. You have added 5% waste in your computation. The same thing you do for the granite, you add 5% waste. The same thing you do for the sand, 0.78, you add your waste. Then for reinforcement, for 10 mm bar, it's the 135 pieces you have in one ton. You add your waste of 5%. Then your banding wire is a 15 kg to tie 1 ton. You add your waste of 5%. Then the same thing you do for 16 and 20 mm. Then for the formwork, before we go to the formwork, let me give an illustration, because we are going to be seeing these figures in my computation of formwork. For you to calculate the volume of the cubic meter for a 2x2 timber is for you to multiply the width, the depth, and the length to get the volume of one timber. So you can see, and what the 3 is because you hardly can find a complete 12-foot timber in the market now. You're basically 3 meter, 3.2, and all of that. So I use 3 meter, I multiply it. I have this for 1 2x2, and I have this for 1 2x3. So if you now divide it by 1 cubic meter, divide by this will give you 133 pieces. And for the 2x3 will give you 89 pieces. And so if you come to this place, if you have been following my uh, my 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 works, you see where I built up rate for form work. I used a sketch to illustrate how formworks are braced, and from that sketch we extracted the volume of a cubic meter that the brace for 1 square meter will be, and it was a 0.013. So that's why I multiplied by the total square meter. So I would need a 8.58 cubic meter of timber to brace a 286 square meter. So firstly, for the planks, my computation is I'm going to use the plank thrice. I'm going to use the plank thrice, which basically I'm going to use it 3 times, then which means I'm now going to buy, meaning I'm going to buy 1/3 of the planks I need for this aspect of the job. I'm going to buy 1/3. Then for me now to compute that, to calculate the pieces I need, I now divide it by the width of the plank and by the length of the plank. Then I added 5% waste. So it now gives me a 133 pieces of planks I will need to buy. Then for the braces, because I am going to use a combination of different type of timber for my brace and support, I'm not going to use one type. So I now ratio it into 40-60, 2x2, 40% of my 8 cubic meter and 60% of 2x3. So I ratioed it there. Then you now see I have the 8 cubic meter divide by, this is the 133 which I computed here, divide by this to give me the, then I'm going to use it 3 times, and that's why I have this 3, and by 40% to give me how many timber I'm going to buy for 2x3. Then the same thing I did for 2x2 and 2x3. Then for the nails, I'm going to need a 0.0 kg of nail for 1 square meter, which if I multiply it by the total square meter, it gives me 22.88 kg. So after getting all of my material, the next thing is now to put price against it. And for me to put price, I cannot put price against it in the same column. So I needed to now bring it to the bottom of my bill, quantity, unit, and rate, where I now summed up my quantity for each of those items to my quantity column. Then now apply what is the cost per each in the market, 6,005. Then it gives me what the price is. So you can see I need a 161 pieces of 10 mm bar. I need 14 pieces of length of 16 mm bar. I need 108, 8 of 20 mm bar, and the cost and the unit cost is this. Then the banding where I need 69 tons, 69 kg, and the cost is this. While the cement, I need a 7 ton. I need the granite 29 ton. I need the sand 19 ton. At this price, it gives me this. So meaning that if I have a 7 million, I can go to site, because it's assumed I've finished my oversight concrete. I am now about to start my superstructure. If I have a 7 million, I can move to sites to erect the columns and the lift wall. Then I can now go to my I can now go to because after my column and my lift wall, what next is the suspended slab and the beams. So I can now go to my beams. I can now go to my beams and my first floor. I can now go to my slab, my first floor slab. Now, because basically what we're having in frame structure is concrete, steel, reinforcement, and slab. So I'm repeating the same exercise I did for the first item. I'm repeating this. The only place I will have a variance is when I am dealing with the suspended slab, because bamboo will now come in. As you can see, there is no bamboo here. So if you go to the suspended slab, if you go to the suspended slab, you can see I have bamboo. Where is it? Sorry. I am supposed to have suspended slab. I'm supposed to, if this is, let's check and see if the suspended slab, this is a slab. I'm supposed to have bamboo here. So I am multiplying this by 1. Why am I multiplying by 1? Because in a slab that has headroom of, say, 3.2, for a square meter, I need 2 bamboo to keep the formwork in place above at the suspended level. So, and in each bamboo, I can get 2 of 3 point. I can get 2 of 3 point. I can get 2 of 3.2, which is the headroom height. So if I'm getting 2 from it, and one piece is 1.8, rather than me dividing the 1,800 into 2 and now say I'm using 2 here, I'm using 2 number here, and I'm now coming to this place to say I am dividing it by 2. I just went straight forward to say I'm using this. Then I'm now going to now divide it by 3, because it's 3 uses. So I'm going to buy 1/3 of the bamboo that I need for this suspended slab. So I'm going to buy the 1/3. Then we go to the next suspended slab. If here is a suspended slab, this is already here. So I'm going to divide this by 3 times. I'm going to use it 3 times. So I'm going to buy a third of it. So now that I have computed all of this, my client is not interested in seeing all of this working, because it will be too cumbersome. Let's say he's not a professional, it will be too cumbersome for him to understand what he wants to see. He wants to see the monetary value and the quantity. So what I now did is to now create another sheet where I now summarize each of the item, each of the element in the format I did my computation here. I now repeated it here, but without the calculations. Then, because my client, what is interested in, he wants to know what the cost of the whole of the reinforcement for the whole project will cost him. And at the same time, he still wants to know what each stage will cost him. So what I now did is, since he wants to know the cumulative and he still wants to know the stage, what each stage will cost him, what I did now is to code each of these items with a unique name. Say I'm using a 10 mm bar, I said Y10, 12 mm Y11. Then banding wire, I now coded, I now gave it a unique name of BDW. Cement, I gave it a unique code of CE, granite, GR, sand, SA, plank, PLK, timber, ST, timber, Then the 2x2 timber is team 1, team 2, team 3. Then bamboo is B001. Then nails is NA. So I repeated this unique code for each of these locations. Then now created another summary sheet where I now repeated the unique codes here, the unique code in this location. Then I now generated a formula where I now say the formula, I'm asking the formula, go to the next sheet, sum up every Y10 code you see in this column of J from 14 to 77. Then this J 14 to 77 is where I have this code in the next sheet. Then why this D 14 to 77 is where I have the quantities. So I'm now saying go to you go to the next sheet, sum up wherever you see this and bring it here. The same thing I did for the unitary, the same thing I did for the amount. So now you can see the total quantity I need for 10 mm bar, which I cannot see at a glance here. Like at a glance here, I'll need to sum the 10 mm from this place, from this column to the next, another 10 mm here, another 10 mm here, another 10 mm here. I now use this code to sum them all together here. I have 835. For 12 mm, I have 1,686. For 16 mm, I have 753. And the amount is this. Then this is the figure. So the total cost for material is 90,169,000. Why? If you come to this place to be certain that you are correct, you have to find a way to check. You see, I summed up the whole of this subtotal, to give me a 9169, and I'm having 9169. So at a glance, my client can see the total reinforcement bar here. Then for the stage, he can go to this place to check for which stage he wants to now execute, to say, okay, I need a certain of this amount to execute this. So if I've been able to throw more light to your understanding on how to prepare material schedule, please share, like, most importantly, subscribe to my channel to encourage me to continue to exploit ways to make your work more easier in the practice of quantity surveying. Thank you, and stay blessed.